Hey there, how's it going? Back in August, I made a video letting everyone know that I was taking a break from my long-running game project, Monkeys with Guns. I had hit several roadblocks that I just didn't really know how to solve. On top of that, the whole world kind of shut down due to a major pandemic, making the enjoyment of a game that's designed for the local multiplayer experience feel kinda bad to work on. So because we were all stuck at home, I put it up on the shelf and just worked on game jams and other small projects. If you'd like to go back and hear all the reasoning and where the project was at the time, there's a card up top to go to the playlist. And according to viewer data, about now is the time when I should be telling everyone to subscribe and ring the bell thing to see more. Okay, so what's up with the monkeys? Well, a lot actually. If you've checked out my Twitch streams, you may know that I've been back working on the game for a little while now. There's quite a lot to share, and I definitely won't be able to get to most of it in this video. But since it's been a while since the last video I made about this game, and the channel has grown quite a bit since then, I want to treat this as a good jumping on point for anyone that may be new to the project. By this point, I've already made something like 30 videos on this game, and that can be quite the barrier to entry for somebody new. So if you really only know me from the Game Jam videos, here's a quick overview of this game and how it came to be. Then we'll get into some big updates and what's in store for the future. Monkeys with Guns is a game I began making after going to my first local indie game devs meetup. Before the pandemic, live demoing of games at conventions and gatherings was a lot of fun and my favorite activity to do in the world of gaming. And because of that, this game was designed specifically to be my showcase demo game. It's the thing that I bring out to show off when I tell somebody that I make games and to really illustrate what I mean by that. Monkeys with Guns is a retro-inspired Last Monkey Standing local multiplayer arcade game. You begin by selecting a skin for your monkey. The skins serve a couple purposes. One, they're fun and they allow the player to inject a bit of personality into their avatar, which psychologically can help add the desire to help keep your monkey alive while playing in-game. And the second reason, which is a little more pragmatic, is to help differentiate the monkeys in the cases of people suffering from color blindness. After choosing a monkey, each player votes for their desired level type. The players are then taken to a level that is randomly chosen from their selections, meaning if they all choose the same one, they will always get that level, allowing for some social dynamic to play out even before the match begins. Once in the round, the game features some of my favorite retro mechanics. The players have a tried and tested double jump, as well as the ability to screen wrap. If you're unfamiliar with the term, when a player leaves the screen, they are returned to the play area on the opposite side. This works on all four edges of the screen, giving the game a pretty unique feel in my opinion. If you fall through the bottom of the screen, you come back out the top. If you jump out the right, you come back in the left, and everything vice versa. Players begin the game with a pistol and can temporarily upgrade to better weapons by destroying crates and collecting pickups. Each level features destructible terrain, as well as what I refer to as a gimmick. A gimmick is a unique quality that each level type has. Some examples are bounce pads, portals, and moving platforms. There are hearts that can be collected to regain a large amount of health, and they will respawn after a moment or two. After 30 seconds of chaos, all monkeys still able to move will be greeted with a warning sign on either the top and bottom or left and right of the screen. Spikes will then enter, closing off the play space and destroying everything in their path until there's only one monkey left. Then the players are taken to the stat screen where they're shown how much damage they did to each other and to talk some friendly smack. In my eyes, the game is more about movement than shooting each other. That's why the winner is the last one alive and not the one that got the most kills or did the most damage. This enables different, less aggressive playstyles to still be able to win the game. However, I did add a most damage badge, which is awarded to the most aggressive player, adding another element that players can smack talk about. After that, the players are taken back to the player select screen, where they can either begin again or allow new players to jump in for their turn. Keep in mind that because the round time is 30 seconds, all of this takes place in the span of about 60 to 90 seconds, making it really easy to keep playing because there isn't much time commitment to say, oh, just one more. So that's the game and where it stood as of me taking a break. It's been amazing to pull it out in group gatherings and let people go at it and have fun. But then the pandemic hit, and those gatherings that this game was designed for all had to stop. And then I hit a point where I just needed to make the code better, because even though I have rewritten this game a couple of times, there are a lot of these systems that I just don't know how to properly create, so the way that they were designed, they're just crazy spaghetti code madness at this point. It became nearly impossible for me to keep working on the game, which has been my problem with this project since the beginning. So I put the game down because without the ability to playtest in person, I couldn't enjoy working on it, and it just reminded me of being stuck in lockdown. Then a few months later, I was talking with some friends of mine on Discord. We were discussing how I was at the point with the game where I just needed to learn a lot more programming concepts and become a better programmer to do what I needed to do. And I was expressing my feeling that needing to do that just really didn't interest me. Being a better programmer is not something that I care that much about. I'm a designer. The look and feel of the game is what I care most about. The programming concepts behind it are great to know, but I would rather focus on the art and the interaction. Someday I would love to be able to hire someone to actually program the pieces so I can then put them together, but that's unfortunately not something that I'm able to do. So that's why I've learned enough programming to be able to make the types of games that I want to make. And this has worked amazingly for me for game jams and small little projects. But making a release game that I would expect people to pay for is a totally different thing. I don't want to sell something that doesn't work well, or have something so complicated that I'm not going to be able to fix it if there's a bug I can't find. So that fear was another thing that was keeping me away from picking the game back up. A few weeks after that, one of those friends hit me up and asked if I was serious about working with someone else. He said that he had some free time to take on another project and wanted to help get Monkeys with Guns over the finish line. So here's the big news. Monkeys with Guns is no longer a solo dev project. I'm now working with my friend David Green, who runs a company called Warped Imagination. David has worked in all aspects of the game industry and is currently making crazy VR experiences and more. Seriously, the fact that he likes this game enough to lend that talent to it is a huge honor. And with David now taking control of the programming, I have another announcement which will make most of you spit your milk out. Monkeys with Guns is now being made in Unity, as that's the engine that David works in. Let me preempt a few questions that I always get right away when people find this out. No, I'm not switching from Construct. I still really like the engine and I'll be using it for most of my other projects moving forward as long as I can. But because I'm no longer programming Monkeys with Guns, that's now being made in Unity. Does this mean the game will have online multiplayer? No. Unfortunately, making a fast action game like this work reliably online is just outside the scope of what either David or I can dedicate to this project. We would rather focus on making the rest of the game as good as possible and not deliver a half-baked online experience. We are planning to have the game work with Steam's remote play, so it will be able to be played over distances. But overall, the game was designed to be played with people around you, and that's the design ethos we're going to stick to. Someday in the future, if the game is doing really well, maybe. But for now, the goal is to get the game out and into players' hands. Will the game be on consoles? I get this question all the time, and that's the hope. With a proper programmer at the helm, there is a way better chance of that happening now. But I don't want to promise anything yet, so we'll see what happens in the future. When will the game be out? Nothing definitive yet. We want to get a bit more locked down before we set a date. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments, and I'll try to address them in a future video. So now I've got a bit of a task ahead of me. David has basically rebuilt what took me forever to make in a few weeks, and now I need to get to work on all of the art as well as learn some Unity interfaces. There really is so much to dig into with this process, and I can't wait to share it all with you. The monkeys are back, and I couldn't be more excited for this project now. I get to work with and learn from someone who actually knows what they're doing. There's so much to talk about, and it will be great to put them down in a script for one of these devlogs in the future. Over the course of making YouTube videos about my projects, I've developed a real appreciation for having to take the time to put my ideas into words. I hope this teaser and announcement about Monkeys with Guns has you as hyped as me to see where this project goes. There's a lot of changes happening. I'll be working on and having design discussions on my Twitch stream somewhat regularly, so if you want the chance to see the most up-to-date details, come stop by at twitch.tv/Vimlark. We recently brainstormed a lot of level themes and gimmicks, and last time we were working on updating art. Aside from that, we just have a lot of fun with game dev and art in general. If you're able to stop by and say hi, I'd love to meet you. Thank you all for watching. I would like to give an extra special shout out to my amazing patrons: Abby Sean, David Scott, Nightfall, Kevin Halgow, Liam Sorta, MLK, Motzi Makes, Nazar Salim, Scott Hansen, Soapy Gnome, and Straight Up Gruntled. Your support means so much in these crazy times, and I can't thank you enough. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe if you haven't. I hope you're all healthy and safe, and have a great rest of your day or evening wherever you are. I'll talk with you next time. Have a good one. Later.